All right, so for this lesson, we are going to be learning how to make a race car driver. And this is going to be a lot of fun. I actually went a little crazy with my background after. I drew the road, I drew a little bit of grass, a sun, some clouds, some birds in the background, and I'll teach you how to do all this, and you can honestly draw whatever background you want. And that's what makes this lesson very fun, because everybody's race car driver is going to look a little bit different with a different environment. So be creative and have fun with it. Maybe you want some mountains in the background, or maybe there's a plane up in the air, or maybe it's like driving over a few different hills. It's up to you. And like I said, let's get started. I'm going to teach you how to draw just the race car driver itself, and then you are going to get the chance to draw that and then make your background. I also am going to teach you how to paint it in today. If you're doing this lesson at home and you don't have painting materials, you can use color pencils, markers, or crayons, and that works just as well too. All right, so let me get my paper. I am going to be using plain computer paper, and you can use lined paper if that's all you have. I like plain white computer paper because it's almost like a blank canvas, right? I'm going to use a Sharpie marker so you can see everything I'm drawing clearly, and I would advise that you use a pencil. If you have a pen or a marker, okay, that's good, but pencil is nice because you can erase if you make mistakes, and then you can always outline it after. All right, so let's start with our frame and name. So our frame and name, we're gonna draw a straight line towards the edge of our paper. Remember, if you're having difficulty doing a straight line, you can do a curvy line, but go ahead and make your frame. I'm just pulling my marker and holding my paper. So that's our first step. Now we want our paper to be in the horizontal fashion. So horizontal, left to right. And I hope you can see over this side. I know that like the camera doesn't reach that far, but the race car driver is gonna be right about here, so you should be able to see everything that I'm drawing. So the first step that we are gonna do, and this is gonna be in the middle of your paper, you're going to draw, again, the race car driver and the race car. And it's going to be towards the middle of your paper, kind of large, but not taking up the whole paper, so you have room to draw a background. So we're gonna start with a rectangle shape in the middle. So it's a straight line down a longer side. These two lines are parallel, which means they're running next to each other, and then close it off. So that's a rectangle shape, so go ahead and draw that. After you draw the rectangle shape, we're gonna draw the back of the car shape, and that's gonna be a larger shape, almost like it's gonna look like a piece of pizza, kind of. It's gonna have like a curve and then straight lines. So I'm going to go up a little bit, just like so, curve, and I want to stop pretty much right where the end of that rectangle is, and then make a straight line across. Okay, and then it's a similar shape on the other side, except for it's the front of the race car, so it's gonna point and down and go a little bit longer with the curve. So I'm going to make a curve that comes out further. I'm gonna stop towards the end of that rectangle and go straight across. Try and eyeball it the best that you can and take your time. So now, so far we've built the majority of the body of that race car, and we're gonna move on to the next step, which is going to be to draw this helmet shape, the steering wheel, and then this little like fast shape coming off the side. I forget what those are called. They're like, oh my gosh, what are those called? They're at the top of cars and they look speedy. Can't think of it right now. All right, so we're doing a straight line and a point. So it's going to be a triangle that's pointing inward towards the back of the race car. So go ahead and draw that shape. You're then going to have another diagonal line coming straight down like this, right there. And that's all you're gonna do for the back side of that race car. Okay, so let's now draw the helmet head. We're going to do a curving upside down U shape, almost like a half rainbow, and that's going to come out from the back of the race car going down. And then the steering wheel is a straight line in a curve shape, just like so. Okay. The next step is we are going to make the wheels. So watch me first because this gets a little tricky. The wheels are going to be black, meaning you can use a marker or paint to paint them in black. I don't have black paint with me right now, but when we do, you'll use black paint. If you do, you can use it. If not, use a marker. I'm just gonna use a Crayola marker. The Sharpie marker will dry out if I do that. But the inside part of the wheel, the circle that stays white, I'll show you where that is. It's actually going to be a circle shape right in this corner. So do you see where the back end of the race car is? Lines up, do a circle right there. And you wanna make sure it's right there so that you don't cut through any of these lines and have black coming through into that circle. Okay, the next step is to make a circle around that circle, and this is a big back wheel. So don't be afraid to draw it extra big looking. The next wheel, the inside circle shape is gonna be on the right side of this intersecting line. And making a inside circle shape. Now this wheel's a little smaller, except we kinda want it to be close to touching the bottom part. So I'm going to come around, oops. And don't worry about being too perfect with this. And if I make a mistake, I can always go and color it around more. Okay, so now I'm gonna color this in. I'll start with this one right here. And I have a broad marker here. Obviously you can paint it in if you want. I've got, so I'm able to kind of fill in a lot of spaces at once. I'm just pressing that side of the Crayola marker, which is making some nice lines for me. Staying in the lines the best that I can. Now, I don't really like that this bottom part's a little bigger than the top, so I'm gonna actually make this a little wider at the top. Okay, and then fill in this one as well. So obviously you can work on that right now. And like I just said, if you don't like the circle shape that much, erase it and draw it again, or just adjust it as you go, which is what I'm doing. So once I fill this in, I'll see areas that I want to be a little bit rounder on each edge, and I might go back through and just fix it. I love using these markers. They just work really nicely. Okay, so maybe like over here, I might just pull this out a little further. Round it off more. And that back wheel is pretty big. Okay, cool. All right, the next step is going to be to add, in this helmet, we're gonna do a rectangle shape right here from the edge of that curve over. So it's kind of like the little glass area that they might be looking through when they're driving. And then we are going to make a go faster stripe. So what's a go faster stripe? It's a stripe down the middle of the race car. So it basically is just dressing up the car. It makes it look kind of neat and makes it seem like it's going really fast. So we're gonna make parallel lines. Those are lines that go run against each other right here. And I'm going to go on the other side of the wheel and continue them. And now we've got like a fast looking stripe, right? If you wanted to add a number to, like maybe your favorite number, you can put that on the car. So let's say I'll do number 4. no reason. I just picked the number 4. And I made it a bubble letter 4. Just thought it'd be kind of cool. So if you want to pick a number that you like, you can do that. Now this is done. So you can go in and add whatever kind of background you want. All right, so I'm gonna leave this open to you. I'm gonna just obviously put mine here. And you can draw whatever you like, be as unique with it as you want. And then I'm going to teach you how to paint this in. So let's start with painting right now. Okay, so I have several different colors here, paint colors, and I am going to use my round brush with a nice tip, and I may have showed you this before, but I love these tips. They allow you to get into small spaces, but then they're wide brushes enough that when you press down, you can fill in a lot of space with paint. So I have my water cup, so you should have that at your table, and if you're sharing with a classmate, you're gonna make sure you rinse your brush really good and use the paper towel in between. So I'll put my paper towel here so you can see it. And you're just gonna dab your paintbrush and make sure that all of the paint is off of your brush before you use a new color. So I am going to make my race car one color. The stripe is gonna be a different color, and then I can paint my background however I want. So watch me first. I'll paint for a little bit, I'll speed it up, and then I can't wait to see yours. So I like this project because I like to contemplate things that go fast, right? So when I think of a race car, I could think of questions such as relating to my own life, in your life as well. Like, so speeding into the year, you're starting off the school year, it's going really quick, and what goals might you have for the school year, right? Or you can think about just ways that you want to get better at different skills or different things. And I think of a race car driver as somebody who's, you know, working hard and going fast and all that stuff. So that's what I want you to think of, is like, if you're driving through this school year, what do you want it to look like, right? What's your goal? So I am going to start by making my race car. I'll make it orange. I love this orange, it's nice and bright. So I dipped my brush into the orange, and as I'm pulling the paint, I'm taking my time, trying to stay in the lines the best that I can, holding my paper with my opposite hand, and just pulling my brush. If you go outside the lines, don't worry too much. You can always go back later and outline it once it's dry using a marker or black paint. Okay, and this color is very vibrant, it's nice. Notice I'm using the tip of the brush when I get into these small spaces, and if I put my hand right onto the table, it allows me to steady my hand even more. So you might want to even get up close. I'm holding my brush like almost like a pencil. I'm pulling it really nicely towards edges. When you paint, you're gonna notice that the brush starts to get dry, like you run out of paint. What you can do at that point is just flip it to the other side, see if there's any extra paint on that side, and keep going. See, I didn't even dip my brush back in, and I noticed that I had some extra on the other side. Okay, back in and out. And painting's a lot of fun. I've always really enjoyed painting. Just like I said, make sure that you're having fun while you're doing it. I don't ever want you to feel stressed. This is supposed to be something very calming. So just focus in on it and take your time. Okay. I think I'll carry this through over here. I guess I could switch this color. I could switch this color here if I wanted to. I'm trying to think if I should or not. Should I do it with blue or something? Or, yeah, I think I will. So I'm gonna just clean my brush. I am swishing it at the bottom. Make sure that you're really washing it well. And I can hear the noise, listen. Right? So every time I lift it out, does it look clear? I'm gonna wipe it at the edge. I'm gonna check on the towel, paper towel, if it comes up clear. it's good to go to the next color. Make sure that you're really, really, really wiping off all the paint. These are not watercolor paints, so you don't want to add more water into them. So I'm going to use blue, and this is just for the front of the car. I'm gonna leave that Go Faster stripe, and I'm gonna paint that in after. I'm thinking I might want that yellow. I really like that color. If I had red paint, I might consider painting the stripe red or the car red, or mixing it up. And then I think the back of my race car will do blue. But use different colors. I'm trying to make them kind of cohesive, so if I'm doing the back of it blue, I'm doing the front of it blue, I'm doing both these orange. I don't want to use too many colors, but I kind of want to make it even looking. And then don't forget, I'm going to paint my background sky and all of that as well. Okay. So, and then I think I'll make these orange and yellow, like yellow here and orange. So my colors I'm gonna use a limited amount of colors, but I'm gonna put them all over. So orange, blue, and yellow are gonna be the colors of my race car. So I'm done with that blue. I'm gonna rinse. Notice my water is already getting dirty. If at your table your water is getting dirty, please go ahead and change it. Quietly stand up. You can go over to the sink and rinse it out and come back to the table. Otherwise, please stay seated. And yellow, middle stripe. Love this color yellow. It's nice and bright. It's got some sparkles. And up here as well. Okay, and then I should go back in there and do that orange. While I'm at it, while I'm using the yellow, I'm gonna paint my sun yellow. And then, like I said, once you've drawn your background, go ahead and have fun painting in the other objects or adding color to them. Oh, yellow. You know where else there's yellow? On the road. If I had black paint, I could paint my road black. Okay, and yeah, so I can't wait to see how you do, and I'm gonna speed this up and then take a look at it at the end and see how everybody else's project comes out. Okay, so I would let this dry for a little bit sitting on the side. And I would consider painting my sky blue. I would probably want a different color blue, but I just wanted you to see what I did. And the grass is actually green. It looks a little blue in this picture, but it is green. So I'm excited to see how yours turns out. What background did you pick? And how you made your race car look really unique. Maybe it's going up a hill, like I said, all sorts of things. So, or maybe it's going off a ramp or something. So I can't wait to see what you did, and I'm looking forward to next week's lesson with you. And I really want you to contemplate, when you think of a race car driver and going through this school year, what are your goals that you're speeding by, okay? All right, see you next time.